What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466 Cards, and today we're going to talk about low-end sports cards as an investment and why I think they are not a good idea if you're using sports card as an investment vehicle. If you want to buy low-end sports cards for your PC, no issue with that. But if you're looking for an investment, I would avoid low-end sports cards, and I will use math to explain why. So let's get right into it. I'm going to propose a scenario where you buy a card and it doubles in value and then you sell it on eBay. And I'm going to go through what that looks like for different value points. So here's what it's going to look like. We're going to start off with a $50 card. You buy it at market value for $50. You buy it off of eBay, so you pay $5 for shipping. You pay $2.50 or 5% for sales tax. So the total cost is $58, right? $50 for the card, $5 for shipping, $2.50 for 5% sales tax. The market value doubles to $100. You pay $1 for shipping materials. The shipping to the seller, or to the buyer, the buyer pays it, so you don't have to pay for it, and then you pay a 13% eBay fee. So as a result, you get $86 in return. $100 card minus $1 for the materials to ship the card, and then minus $13 for eBay. So that gives you a net of $86. Your ROI is 86 divided by 58, which is an ROI of 50%. So on a card that has doubled, i.e. increased by 100%, on a $50 card, your ROI is actually 50%, even though the card increased in value by 100%. Now let's do the exact same scenario for a $100 card. $100 card, shipping stays the same, $5. Sales tax stays the same, so you're at $110 total cost. The $100 card now jumps in value to $200. Your material stays the same at $1. You don't need to have better or more materials. eBay fee stays the same at 13% to $26. Your money received is 173, so that's 200 minus the 1 minus the 26. So your ROI is 173 divided by the 110, and that gives you a ROI now of $57, right? Let's now do this again for a $200 card. You can see the same thing. I'm not going to go through it, but shipping stays the same. Sales tax 10, $250 in total. $400 doubles in value. You get $347 net. That gives you an ROI of 61%. And so why is this happening? It's because the shipping cost on a $50 card is 10% of the value, and then also the $1 in materials. The shipping cost, $5, on a $200 card is 1/40th or 2% of the value. So that's a big difference, and that's where you lose a bunch of your ROI. The shipping cost is a much smaller percentage as you go up in value, and so that's what crushes your margins when you are on a lower end card. Let's keep going. $500 card, same thing, all the stuff, same thing. I'm not going to go through them all. 64%. Now let's take a look at a $1,000 card where you increase the shipping to $10 for better protection and better tracking. Everything else stays the same. Your ROI actually stays flat at 64% because, like I said, it's all about what the percentage is of the shipping and materials, but that's a very small cost, as a percentage of the market value. So that's why, even though the value doubled, the increase in shipping negated any gains in ROI. And then if we go to $2,000, the ROI continues to go up because everything else stays the same. And you may be asking yourself, does it matter whether or not you're in a sales tax or non-sales tax state? It doesn't matter. Here is the exact same numbers for a 0% sales tax state. Obviously, your ROI is a lot better compared to the values up here. That's because obviously you don't have to pay sales tax. You're saving money, right? And so you save all of this amount for yourself, and so that's why your margins are better. But you can see from both of these tables, the trend is the same. Lower value cards, your ROI gets eaten up because the shipping and the materials cost a lot of money, or a larger percentage, and it eats into your ROI or your profit margins. But that's not all. For some of these cards, after they pass a certain value, if you are in a sales tax state, there are things you can do to avoid paying sales tax, and that is use a mailbox service or shipping service like Ship My Cards, which I use because I'm in Canada, and it saves me a bunch in terms of cross-border shipping and tariffs and all that kind of stuff if you bundle it all together in one package as opposed to doing it one per card. So what they do is, if you are in a tax-paying state, you can send it to their Oregon address, which will cost you $7 per card. That means, because Oregon is not a tax-paying state, you don't pay sales tax on it. So Even if you yourself are in a state that requires sales tax, they will if you buy it off of eBay, they'll ship it to an Oregon address. You pay 0% sales tax. They then forward it to their main warehouse in Arizona, and then you ship it to yourself from Arizona, and you don't have to pay sales tax. And then so all in all, you pay about $15 combined, $7 for ingesting it at Oregon, and then another about $8 or $9 to ship it back to yourself. You're paying $16 total. Where this makes sense is if that $16 total is less than your sales tax, which is, let's say if you're in a 5% state here in this example, if you're now at a $500 card and it doubles to $1,000, it makes sense for you to take advantage of a service like Ship My Cards, sorry. So instead of paying the 5% sales tax, you just pay the $15 as a Ship My Cards flat fee, the $7 to ingest it, $8 to ship it to yourself, and that's when your margins jump to 67%. If you keep on doing this, $1,000, it's almost 70% because you don't have to pay the incremental sales tax. And then again, if you are at $2,000, the same thing, right? You just pay the $15 as opposed to the sales tax. And so your margins get pretty close, these 70% get pretty close to what you are paying if you are, as if you are in a non-tax paying state. So this is why, in my opinion, if you are looking at sports cards as an investment, you should stay away from low-end cards because all the materials costs and the fixed costs really bite into your margins. And that's why if you're going to think about sports cards as an investment, stick to the higher end stuff if you can. And hopefully the math here shows you why. So that's it for the video. Let me know your thoughts, whether or not you agree. If there's something missing from my math, would love to hear your comments. As we always do on the channel, we talk about what's coming up next, and next time I'm going to talk about the sports card channels I subscribe to and why I subscribe to them. So thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe if you like the video, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.